Okay, so you should have something that looks like this, and then yours should just have, repeating blocks of these green and blue to get it to the size that you would like it to be. And now you're ready to start making this top edge straight and filling in this triangle section. So if you're very familiar with C to C, it's pretty easy. The only thing you really need to take into consideration is that these sides are not level. So you can't just start straightening out here and straightening out here, because you'll find when you get to the middle that they won't line up. So that's where, again, just to direct you back to my blog, I do have a chart that it could be like a quick visual that you could look at and kind of count. I need to do this many rows on this side and this many on this side so that they're level. But we'll go through how I wrote it in the pattern here. So we're going to start with you should have ended with one of these blocks. I'm calling them right side blocks in the pattern, but if you're left-handed, it's one of the blocks that make up the straight edge. So we're going to start with this middle, the one that has the bumpy side, and just attach your yarn using your favorite method. Chain 3 and make 3 double crochets to make the first C to C stitch. And then you'll continue making stitches up the side like you've been doing for this side. So you'll make 9 plus the 3 floating increases. And then just like you've been doing before, once you have your 12, you'll just decrease at the top and work 12 back down, attaching into this block when you get back to the bottom. So that's what I'm going to work right now. So I completed that second row of 12 stitches, and I've come all the way back down. I joined, and then I chained 3 and turned my work and slip stitched into the first block, ready to start row 3. So this is where you're going to start decreasing. So we should have 12 stitches again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And this time you're going to work up and make 11 stitches. So basically when you get to here, this will be your 11th stitch. You won't jump up and make one right here, because we're going to want to straighten up the edge. So if you want to work through those 11 stitches, and then I'll show you the top. If you're very familiar with C to C, you might already know what you should do. So I'm just making my first C to C stitch of the 3rd row, and then I'm going to continue making them all the way up. I'll make 11 and stop. Okay, so I reached the top, and then hopefully you can just see, if you're not very familiar with C to C, that just kind of making one block less is gonna keep this side straight. So from here on out, that's what you're gonna do with the left side blocks. But we do need to attach it. So if you're very familiar with C to C, you could just slip stitch to do your decrease at the top, but I'm going to make my decrease the same that I've been making it throughout the entire pattern by chaining 3. So I'm going to slip stitch into this space here on the block beside it, and then I'm going to chain 3, and then I'm just going to turn my work as usual and slip stitch right here so I can start working back down. And then I'll chain 3 and make 3 double crochets. And then my edge is straightening out. So I'm going to work 11 C to C stitches all the way back down, and I'm going to join into the that blue block again like I did last time. So I finished that row, and then again I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So now I've got to make 2 more rows, so I'm just going to work 10 up this time, and then when I get right here again I'm just going to slip stitch into this one to attach the blocks, do my chain 3, and then start working back down again, and then join down here and fasten off. So I reached the top, I made 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then again I'm just going to slip stitch right up here into this chain 3 loop so that the blocks will be stuck together. And then I'm going to complete my decrease by chaining 3 and turning and slip stitching in here so I can work 10 more blocks back down. So I've completed my block and I'm fastening off my yarn right now. And again I made 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And so then now I'm going to move on to what I was calling the right side blocks in the pattern, the blocks that have the straight edge. So it's a similar kind of idea, but again we just have to remember that the right and left side blocks were not the same height, but once you get to the decreasing it'll be basically the same. That's probably not going to show up very well. But in my original blanket I was like, I don't know if worried is the right word, but I wasn't thrilled about the idea of using you know, colors that were too closely, you know, related, like right next to each other. But I just started letting that go too, and it looks kind of cool sometimes because they make like little check marks, or you know, just like a thicker block. Like I said, there's a lot of really fun variations you can do with this blanket just by changing up the colors. So I am attaching my yarn and making the first C2C block to start that next side. And then I'm just going to continue working all the way up to the top. So I believe that's 8 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so I made my 8 blocks up to the top. So now I'm going to do an increase to add 1 more block onto here, and that'll get these 2 sides level. So you'll do a chain 6 and build a C2C stitch right here, and then just continue working back down. So you'll make 9 stitches. Okay, so I've come back down and I made my 9 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then you're just going to go ahead and work 8 to come back up. So it's going to start being just like we were doing on this other side, where you're just going to be doing 1 less every time you come up, and you're going to slip stitch to connect to the block at the top. So I made it to the top, right, just like we did before. So I'm just going to slip stitch here, chain 3, and then work my 8 C2C stitches back down and join to the pink. And then I've come back down, and then I have to work 2 more rows and I'll be done with this purple block. So I'm going to make 7 stitches up, attach to the top, and come down and fasten off. So I'm reaching my last stitch at the top, And I'm just going to slip stitch into the top. I don't think you guys need to keep seeing that. And making my chain 3 to decrease and work back down. So I've got back down and I made my final slip stitch to join. I'm fastening off right now, and then I'm just lazily pulling my yarn tails to the back so I don't have to look at them. But yours should look like this, and the two sides they should be even. You should have 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on this last side you just completed. And then you're going to choose another color and then make your final, what I'm calling in the pattern, the left side block, but it's the final, I don't know, inside block, the final block that's on this jagged side. And you're going to make it exactly like we've been doing now, where you just work up one last time, slip stitch, and come down. So these last 2 blocks are going to go really quickly. I'm going to join my yarn here. And chain 3 and make my first C to C stitch. And then I think I should be making 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, excuse me, 6. You'll make 6 stitches and then slip stitch at the top and come back down. So I went up and came back down, I joined and turned my work, and I got ready. I'm going to make 5 up, attach, and make 5 down. And you guys probably have it understood by now, but I got down to the bottom, and then I'm just going to do my last 2 rows. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, and then attach and come down, and then attach and fasten off. So I got back down to the bottom and I just fastened off, and then you have one more little tiny block to work, and this one is really fast. So you'll choose your new color and then 1, 2, 3 stitches and come down. And you have 6 more really short rows. And then you'll be done. So I just got back down, and then you're gonna work up 2 and back down 2. And then it feels a little weird at the very end, but just you got to do 1 up and then 1 down. So you make your 1 stitch going up and join, and then when you're making your 1 stitch going down, you also join on that one. I don't know about you guys, but that last little block is so satisfying. It works up so fast, and it just fills in that little tiny hole. Just wait till you get to the very end of your blanket and you make your last block, and then you're finished. So the top is all straightened out, and you've got the straight edge on the right and the bottom. So from here, you need to decide, like I said earlier, if you are making a smaller blanket, you can skip to the third video and just work on making this other side straight. If you want to make a bigger blanket, you can go to the second video to do the middle part. I think in the interest of time, the start of the middle, you need to make another one of these. So another odd shape and another first block attached to it. So go ahead and make that on your own, and then come over to video 2 with that piece already made, and I won't waste time making it again when I've already recorded myself making it, and some of you might know how to make it without needing to look at anything. If you're jumping straight to video 3, you don't have to do anything but head over there.